I've always wanted to build a houseplant shelf using an old wooden ladder. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I use this old wood ladder that I found in the attic to build a houseplant shelf above this 125-gallon aquarium. This is sort of a weird build, but I thought some of you guys might get a kick out of this, and maybe you can find a scenario where you can use an old ladder. Hey there guys, my name is Chris, and welcome to Houseplant Therapy. As you can tell, we're completely obsessed with houseplants. So if that interests you, please consider subscribing and like the video. We have tons of DIY builds. I'm obsessed with this stuff, guys. So here's the space that we will be installing the houseplant shelf in, and we're going to be going above this 125-gallon aquarium because the aquarium is 6 feet long and the ladder shelf is also 6 feet long. I'm going to be installing it right up here, and I'm going to be mounting this aquarium light to the bottom of it. So it's going to kind of serve as a couple things. It's kind of going to be the hood of the aquarium and hold the light, and then above the aquarium, this ladder is going to be the shelf. So I will admit I was a little uncertain about having a ladder as a shelf in the middle of my house, but it's just like I gotta have some confidence. So I figured I'd use some plastic chains to kind of give it some strength, because some of those houseplants can be pretty heavy, especially like the larger ones that I plan to be putting up here. So what I did was I put some eyelets, some metal eyelets inside of the ladder, and then I got some plastic chain, and then I'm just kind of gonna like I'm going to screw the ladder into the wall and hope for the best, and then kind of just use the chains as like a bracing. These are only plastic chains that I literally got on Amazon, so like I'm a little worried about them, but I mean the houseplants couldn't be that heavy, you know what I mean? So this idea came to fruition when I was trying to figure out an idea of a large shelf for houseplants, you know, and I was walking around the house and I came about this old ladder that I found in the attic, and I was like, man, could this be a cool shelf idea? You know, I have no idea how old this ladder is. It's got to be super old. It's super like rinky-dink. I had to put a bunch of screws in there just so like the thing would stay together. But I think it's going to be maybe a cool idea when it's all said and done. And I also wanted to utilize the fact that I could hang the aquarium light at the bottom of the ladder rack, because I wanted a really fancy light for this aquarium. This is one of those like dual purpose lights that also has an LED bar on it and has like lightning effects and all kinds of cool things. So I figured this would be a cool build, and I just love messing around with stuff like this. So as you can see, you can turn on the LED, you can do like lightning storms, you can have like a sunset, and it actually turned out really cool. And long term, I didn't leave this light on the aquarium because it was just kind of like, I don't know, the LED was kind of like gimmicky, even though like I paid like over $200 for this whole setup. At the end of the day, I actually didn't really like it. What I then did was I put a piece of plywood up here so that I could actually put houseplants up here. So we started with the fern that later died a couple months later. I will personally never buy another fern in my life. So, but yeah, it turned out pretty well. What we did was we repotted a couple plants and we threw them up there. I'm a little worried about the lighting on top of the rack though, because, you know, I'm just a little worried about the lighting. So what I did was I went and bought some of those cheap grow lights that you get on Amazon. This was another mistake that I did. You know, this was over a year ago, and I was kind of just like oblivious to the idea of these lights actually being effective. So even though all these cool lights looked really cool, they actually didn't really serve a lot of purpose. You know, I later found out with some testing that these grow lights, they look really cool because the purple looks like an actual grow light, air quotes grow light. But, you know, after a couple months of testing them, they actually do not work very well. So there they are. It looks cool, right? Like all said and done. But this is the beginning of this project, so don't judge it now. Let's take a look at some footage. What we're gonna do is we're gonna fast forward a little bit here. This is kind of the midway through the project, as you can see. So fast forward 6 months, this is what the build looks like. Doesn't the houseplant shelf just look way different? And actually now, as an artificial grow light, we put a shop light on the ceiling, on both sides of the walls over here. And the houseplants absolutely love them, and they're super cheap. And we decorated the ladder a bit differently. We have some stuffed animals on there, and we planted a buttload of pothos in the aquarium, and it's just it's a complete jungle. Like, it's absolute madness. Look at this. It's super intense. We love it. We're dealing with some pests in the pothos, but we'll be treating those soon. Guys, the build is just, this came together so amazing. This is an awesome houseplant shelf. Well guys, thanks for checking out the video. Give it a thumbs up and please let me know in the comments section, what did you think of this houseplant shelf? Is this old ladder a good idea to use as a houseplant shelf? You gotta let me know in the comments section. And please, subscribe to the channel. If you like houseplants, chances are we're gonna be best friends. So without further ado, I will see you in the next one.